Counselor David L. Romero,
Yes.
Counselor Barbara Casey,
Here.
Counselor Vincent Howell,
Here.
Counselor David A. Ulibarri Jr.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have a quorum.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilor Ulibarri, a moment of silence, please.
A moment of silence for the health of two friends that are really sick here in town, that they're in the hospital with, to keep the families in their prayers.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Madam Mayor, members of the council, I am requesting that we pull item number 3 from the consent agenda to number 2, business items due to an update from the city attorney.
What is the pleasure of the council? Questions, comments?
Okay. Could you explain that again? Because it's not very clear to me what you want to do, please.
The item number 3, there's an update that the city attorney has brought forth, and he would like to present it to mayor and do further discussion and clarification with mayor and council.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Okay, so we're removing it from the consent agenda
To
and
number
making
2.
it a business item number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. What is the pleasure?
Madam Mayor,
Councilor Casey.
I move approval of the agenda as amended.
Do I have a second? Roll call.
Counselor Howell,
Yes.
Counselor Ulibarri Jr.,
Yes.
Counselor Casey,
Yes.
Counselor Romero.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero and Counselor Ulibarri Jr. Madam Mayor, motion carries.
The next item on the agenda, Madam Mayor, members of the council, is the approval of the minutes for February 14th and February 21st, 2018.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilor Ulibarri.
approval of the minutes of February 14th and February 21st, 2018.
Good. Do we have a second?
Madam Mayor.
Counselor Casey.
I did send in corrections.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to
That's noted.
clarify that.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell,
Yes.
Counselor Romero,
Yes.
Counselor Casey,
Yes.
Counselor Ulibarri Jr.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Ulibarri Jr., a second by Counselor Casey and Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, the next item on the agenda, Madam Mayor, members of the council, we have mayor's appointments and reports.
I do not have any of this here.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, we have mayor's recognitions and proclamations.
I do not have any at this time again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The next item on the agenda is public input. The first item, the first person is Mr. Alan Alfelt, wayfinding lodger's tax. Mr. Alfelt.
Thank you.
Good
Mayor and
evening,
council
Mr.
members.
Hello. How are you?
Thanks for allowing public input. I am on the Lodgers Tax Board, and I wanted to speak in favor of a proposed increase to the lodgers tax rate, which may be a little counterintuitive that I want to tax my own business. But what the Lodgers Tax Board understands is that there are capital needs in Las Vegas, like in every city. There are buildings that need to be torn down. There are buildings that need to be fixed up. Everybody knows that. The question is, where does the money come from? So the Lodgers Tax Board realized that we could tax ourselves and increase our tax rate from 4 to 5% by 1%, which would generate, depending on how well lodging does in the city, an extra $50,000 to $100,000 a year. So we have proposed to do that. We've proposed to tax ourselves. What we want, though, is to make sure that the money doesn't go perpetually into hiring more consultants to do more marketing plans that never get implemented. So our proposal is pretty simple. We would like you to increase the tax rate on lodging in the city of Las Vegas, and we would also like you to put aside that extra 1% for new capital improvement projects.
And
Because-
Alan, I believe it is specifically designated for capital improvements, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
Okay, good. Good.
So I just want to speak in favor of that. The Lodgers Tax Board voted unanimously to support that. All the other lodging owners in town that I know of are very much in favor of that. Also related to the lodger's tax is something else we've been working on, which is wayfinding and signage, something else that's under discussion. So a big problem that people have is when they come to Las Vegas, they can't find their way around. And some signs are even misleading, like at Mills it says to the historic downtown and it doesn't go to the historic downtown. So again, you need a way to pay for that, and what we propose is that you take $20,000 of lodger's tax money, and there's $200,000 of lodger's tax money just sitting in the bank. We propose that you take $20,000 of that and complete a construction set of documents, and then also use lodger's tax money to implement that, to build those signs, working with Highlands and working with other fabricators, so we can get those things made this year and put them up all over town so people can find their way around. All paid for with lodger's tax money. It's not general tax. Doesn't require you guys to do anything except say yes. All I have to say.
And
Thank
I
you.
want to tell you, I did read the memo that you sent me regarding wayfinding
Yep.
and your concerns regarding the initial consultant. Anne Marie is fully aware of this, and
Yes.
she's going to take into account.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next person is Mr. Widslick, and he will be speaking on advertising. Thank you.
I'd like to do a brief update on the $92,000 marketing program for this fiscal year, 2018, funded by New Mexico Tourism and City Lodgers Tax. This year-long statewide marketing program is jointly managed by Main Street and the city. In practical terms, that means Virginia Marujo and me. And Virginia produced the designs that I'm showing you. She didn't want to come up, but I think we all need to point out that our designer is sitting in the back of the room. The first is this 2-page ad in the New Mexico Annual True Adventure Guide. This will be out for 12 months starting in February and will be seen by 1 million people online and in print. The second is this billboard design. And this is our summer vinyl. We took down the winter one. And it'll be on I-25 billboards between Santa Fe and Albuquerque and between Las Vegas and Raton. This vinyl will be visible over the March to September period. It'll be up to 3.9 million cars, including, and I think this is important, including the 30,000 cars that people living in Albuquerque who work in Santa Fe commute by our sign 5 times a week. That has a chance to get our message out very strongly. The third is the billboard that just went up for Cinco de Mayo, also between Santa Fe and Albuquerque and Raton and Las Vegas. It will be up approximately 6 weeks. Then it will be replaced by a vinyl for fiestas, then one for Rough Rider motorcycle, then Heritage Week, and so on. With each event getting approximately I-25 highway visibility to 560,000 cars each. And then right now, Virginia and I are preparing the application for 2019 fiscal year New Mexico tourism grants. If successful, we will continue this guide and we will continue the billboards. But we also hope to advertise Las Vegas in Albuquerque Magazine, in Texas Monthly, and in Southwest Airlines In-Flight Magazine. Just Southwest Airlines in-flight magazine is available to 6 million plane passengers over the month that our ad will be in it. If 1% of those passengers respond to our Las Vegas ad, it will fill a third of all the available motel rooms in Las Vegas for a year. All in all, this marketing program is giving great exposure to our original Las Vegas. And with New Mexico tourism garnering discounts because of the bulk buying they're buying for the whole state to begin with, and then paying for half of the remaining cost, it's very reasonably priced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Smith.
The next person on public input is Marshall Poole, monthly report for the Animal Welfare Coalition.
Good evening, Mr. Poole.
Mayor, city councilors. A few news items from this past month. We took in 179 dogs, 87 of which were puppies. So we've got puppy run going strong here with the warm weather. We've transported 103 dogs to 6 different agencies in Colorado and other places. We adopted 26 animals locally. We returned 24 animals to their owners, their guardian owners. More than 25 volunteers donated more than 300 hours of time this last month. I wanted to address a continuing problem, and that is that 90% or more of the animals coming into the shelter do not have proof of rabies vaccination. And when they bite someone, that means we have to do a 10-day bite hold to observe the animal for possible rabies. The 10-day bite hold occurs only if that dog doesn't have a rabies vaccination certificate. So, so that's most of the animals that bite someone. I just wanted to review over the years. We had in 2015 we had 36 bite holds across the year. In 2016 we had 21 bite holds. In 2017, so last year, we had 17 bite holds. And then year to date, this year, we've had 4 bite holds. So that's 4 animals and 57 ones that didn't have a rabies vaccination. So it is a continuing problem. We're not sure the best way to address that. We cannot release an animal to a citizen if they do not have proof of vaccination or pay for a vaccination. They have to go to a vet, pay for the vaccination, bring us the receipt, show us this is by state law, and then we can release the animal. Unfortunately, many times, if the animal comes in a second or a third time, we still don't have a rabies vaccination, even though they paid for it. So it's a frustrating. So that's our report for February. We're still looking to schedule a public input meeting. I'm not sure that we do that. One other thing is, you may know, you probably know, there was a fire operation in the city this afternoon, and we didn't have to evacuate any animals, but we do have a plan in place for that. We have a relationship with the Bernalillo County Animal Services. They are able to bring to Las Vegas a whole setup for a pet center that we could set up on land somewhere with all the kennels, etc. We would have a maximum capacity of about 100 dog vans, so we would have to transport a lot of animals. Just in case, we call it New Mexico Dog, and we also call the Animal Humane of Albuquerque, just to give them a heads up in case we need to do that. same thing would happen if we had, larger files had to fire and had to evacuate people. We could evacuate their pets. And so thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next person under the public input is Mr. Tim Hagerman of New Mexico Economic Development.
Good evening, Mayor. Council, my name is Tim Hagerman. I work for Secretary of Economic Development and Matt Geisel. And I tried to come in after the election and introduce myself and make sure that you know me and so we can talk about things that are going on that can increase your literacy status there. Recently, the Tiger Grant was awarded for the Amtrak improvements, $16 million. This is the final award for that. For Kansas and Northeastern Rice go all the way into Lincoln now. A lot of it is just rail improvements, switches, and various safety improvements, but it's something that's going to really pay off in regards to the steam locomotive in the next couple of years. So I've been communicating with them for the last few years, and one of the things that we talked about recently was updating your transportation plan. At this point, they're going to be able to turn around up and, at Ted Turner's place and it's coming right up there. If you can look at some alternatives in regards to turning them around here in Las Vegas, it all starts with updating your transportation plan. So I'd love to work with your transportation contact with RPL and DOT and start having that conversation. It's going to come very fast. The steam locomotive is going to do their test run in 2019. It's going to come fast. One of the other things that we have an opportunity for is to spend some money right now for our department is the airport aviation plan. Your Economic Development Corporation is awarded $5,000 to update that plan with their standards, safety needs, and look at other ways of bringing in companies or other opportunities in just making it more of an active airport. So we'd like to work with your interim city manager and start having that conversation so that we can get that plan expected. And then lastly, we just wrapped up the Rural Pathways Grant through the tourism department. I applied for a Rural Pathways grant, and that was through NEDO, which you can remember at Northeastern Economic Development Organization. And we had over 20 hours of training for the tourism department. And we identified 3 categories that we're going to be focusing on. And it works well with the campaign in regards to the Old West and all West. The first category is exploration and trade with the Santa Fe Trail on Route 66. Tourism Department's getting ready to do their biggest campaign on Route 66, and it came right through here, 319-37 trail. And we're adding a Building of the Kid Trail from Fort Sumner to Las Vegas, and involving Anton Chico and Foot de Dillon and a lot of those communities that Pat Garrett and a lot of the deputies and Building the Kids down. So he was our greatest ambassador, and we want to make sure that Santa Fe's rich history of Building the Kid will be emphasized with pocket maps, text marketing, signage. We're also adding a Goodnight Loving Trail sign to emphasize Oliver Loving and Goodnight that brought cattle right through Las Vegas, and Mosquero and Roy and Folsom. And then the other categories are Cowboys and Conflict, which go along with the Goodnight Loving Trail and Building the Kid Trail. And then lastly, Dinosaurs and Digs, which goes from Tucumcari all the way up to Clayton because of the rich dinosaur history. So we'll be implementing that. We're finalizing the scope of work and spending the money in the next couple months. Just wanted to give you an update.
Mr. Dickerman, thank you for being here. First of all, I want to thank you for following up on the Tiger Grant. It's really important we don't lose any funding in that area. The Amtrak is very critical to the future existence of this community and also the railway. With regards to the steam engine, it was my understanding that we've been working with them for the last 2 years. So it was my understanding that they were going to be run before 2019. We were hoping 2019.
We're going to be doing the testing right. We're ready for that. We're not quite ready for it. So if we talk about hydrogen, that's really what we want to do. Look at it, investigate the there's some really cool stories that on many of the parking buildings.
And also to fuel, notify the council about the
Yes, sir. In regards to aging, okay. We have to do that. I don't. I would have to get other departments to all of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I know I'm talking about transportation on the national
Yeah, we have
development.
senior citizens here that serve the building area and also the beach area.
Yes.
It's really important that the council be notified of the report. And we have.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The last person on our public input forum is Mr. Lalo Sanchez. Comments?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all you other people. I only have 2 things to say, and this is city manager, thank you for finishing the crosswalk and work on the project. I really appreciate it, but always wanted to make sure that non-important as a lot of others it is the city that are very important. One very important crosswalk is in North, other than the Middle Plaza. I've been fighting that for years now, even our past district representatives never wanted to do anything about it, so I would appreciate if that would be done as far as that goes. Secondly, I think that you all need to release or file more or give out more liquor licenses to establishments here in Las Vegas. We don't have enough revenue coming in from drunk drivers. There's too many drunk drivers that are getting under the table and not getting prosecuted and not fined and whatnot, and we're losing a lot of revenue. And with all this new establishments with liquor license, we can also get new drunk drivers out there so that we can get more revenue, so that they can put our pedestrians and people in jeopardy for their lives. And I think that if you all would do that, we would have a little bit more revenue for our city itself, as far as that goes, because we don't have enough drunk drivers on the city. And the ones that we do have are just repeat offenders. Thank you.
The next item that is the last person on public input, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The next item on the agenda is the city manager's report. And as someone just stated, there was a fire up north, and Chief, can you give us a bit of an update? I know it's been contained, but that's all I knew.
It was right off by the, I guess it came along down, and it actually did cross the road, but they were able to get a handle on it. Too much more on it than that.
And according to Chief Montoya, he did call and say that they had contained it in the area, trying to contain any hotspot. So they would still be out there for the whole process.
And I wanted to mention addressing the fire area when you get there, where it was not supervised, so the plant really central handling it, when you have all these central, thank you very much, you can't spread it to something that's allowed to residents, and then they can put permits on them all those things, literally, so, thank you very much for all.
Will, and what I'd like to do is possibly send out Chief Montoya up to KFUN and discuss some of the danger situations there is with the dryness of the conditions that we have currently, and so we can support there as well. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then next up, under City Manager's report, we have Ms. Maria Boveri on her projects. Chief, for 30
Mayor, Council, and Manager, I wanted to report on this first week of the school awards in 4 weeks. This last week, 65 city employees put in about 248 hours over a 6-day period, and that, along with 16 residents, were able to pick up 30,000 pounds of trash, 15 tons of trash in Ward 1. The staff picked up 100 needles, 41 tires, 17 mattresses, and 5 TVs, in and amongst that 30,000. So the project is going well. We are asking for continued support from the community. It will be held again, started on Monday this week in Ward 2 at Cannon Park, where the meeting is morning at about 8:30. It will go up all the way through Saturday. Greatly appreciated. And that's pretty much the update. We've been able to pick up a lot of trash, and we'd like to continue to improve the beautify our community and get free without our roadway and what it is.
I'd like to recommend to the council at this if you have volunteers that want to join in on what you're doing, encourage them to contact Maria. I have, and the more helps them get the better this thing will be. So also then for another thing.
We'll be thinking planning for that. We are, one of the benefits of this is to help us institute our KDP program, and by picking up a lot of trash. One of the other areas that we're currently working on is fires. We do have a lot of fires, and my staff are working on a process for that, whether it's more cost effective to continue to take them to wagon mount, A, have them disposed, or we're also looking into some other alternatives such as shredding. So that's kind of a side effect from this program as well. Also, we're helping the CD. Tires, currently a tire is a specific type of waste that whenever we turn it into wagon mount, we have to pay an additional cost for it. They do take up a lot of space, and they're horrible to get caught up in the fire. With a shredder, we're able to shred it down and basically mulch it, which means we can possibly use it. Okay, so with the tire shredder, we'll be able to shred tires, and instead of taking it up the wagon and paying the cost, we can use those for mulch. Sometimes landfills actually pay to receive might actually should end up being offsetting for the community as well, if we just want to get hired.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The last item I have on city manager's report is you were just given an agenda for a special city council meeting, and this has been scheduled for March 28, 2018 at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers, and this is the discussion for the exit off conference. We have included all of the mayor and council members in this meeting, and so we will be reporting it. We'll be going into executive session at 5 p.m. and for discussion. This will include all council members. The next item on the agenda, Madam Mayor, members of the council, is the finance report and Ms. Connor Bacon.
Sorry, Connor, you're going to have to speak up.
Oh, I do.
She can yell.
I can yell. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. I'd like to present the revenue and expenditure reports for February for the general fund, the recreation center, and the four utility funds. The general fund generated $7,814,780. We've collected 71% of our budgeted revenues. Expenditures are at $6,878,140 for a reflection of revenues over expenditures of $936,640, which these are recorded on the cash basis. Therefore, the $936,000 is a reflection in our cash account. On page 2 is the 2-year analysis of GRT taxes based on cash basis, and this is when we receive it from the state. And our total GRT taxes collected through February, $5,075,620. And it represents 65% of all revenues. Any questions on this report?
Continue, please.
The recreation center collected $392,690, close to the percentage that we should be at, which is 67%, and that includes the transfer coming in from the general fund. Total expenditures $390,938. So it's well within the revenues collected expenditures. Enterprise. Wastewater. Accrued revenues at $2,016,736, which is 70% of budget, what was budgeted for revenues. Collections, natural gas, $2,829,760, and that's at 54. It's about half of what was budgeted. Solid waste, $2,283,636. That's at 67% collected or billed. And water, $3,401,794, and that's 71% of budgeted revenues. Expenditures for wastewater, $1,991,637, and that's 60% of budgeted expenditures. Natural gas, $2,916,165, and that represents 49% budgeted expenditures. Solid waste, $2,252,585, 60% of budgeted expenditures. And water at $3,458,038, and that represents 61% of budgeted expenditures.
Okay, questions, comments?
Madam Mayor, members of the council, today, Tana did say that we really needed to thank our departments and our department heads because they've done an outstanding job with our budget. And they're really being very prudent with their expenditures. And I don't know if you have anything to add, Tana, but
No, I do want to thank the departments, because without their help, our job is more difficult. And with the increase of the 936,000, that helps our 1/12 quite a bit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you, Tana. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Okay.
What is the pleasure of the board? Questions, comments?
Madam Mayor?
Councilor Casey.
Madam Mayor, I move approval of the consent agenda item number 1 and number 2.
Okay, Ms. Fresquez, could you read them into the record?
Thank you, Madam. The consent agenda consists of items 1 and 2. Item 1 is approval of Resolution 1816, Budget Adjustment Resolution. And item number 2, approval to award request for proposals number 2018-17 for printing and mailing services to Master's Touch for the Utilities Department.
Thank you very much. Need a motion?
I just made a motion.
Second? Who seconded?
Second.
Councilor Howell.
Counselor Vigari Jr.,
Yes.
Counselor Howell,
Yes.
Counselor Casey,
Yes.
Counselor Romero.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
The next item is the business items. Madam Mayor, members of the council, the first item is to conduct a public hearing and approval, disapproval to adopt ordinance number 18-01. Ms. Maria Gilbert.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to go into public hearing.
Madam Mayor,
Councilor Casey.
I move that we go into public hearing for ordinance number 18-01.
To conduct a public hearing, do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Uribe Jr.,
Yes.
Counselor Romero,
Yes.
Counselor Casey,
Yes.
Counselor Howell.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Okay, before we continue, I need to swear in anyone that's going to testify here today.
Yes, if there's anybody that wishes to testify on this item today, would you please stand? And I guess we'll start. Maria Gilvery, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name for the record.
Maria Gilberry,
Swear to tell the truth
swear to tell the truth
during my testimony to council tonight.
during my testimony to council tonight.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rivera, please continue.
Madam Mayor, Mayor, Councilors, Madam Manager, I'm here today to talk about the ordinance 1801, which is authorizing the execution of a loan agreement with NMFA for up to $4.57 million. And this is for the acquisition of a perpetual easement in Story of 800 acre-feet. This will supplement the existing storage that the city has with approximately 300 acre-feet at Bradner and 200 acre-feet in Peterson, giving us a total of 13,000 acre-feet. 1,300? Wow. 1,300.
That's a huge jump, Maria.
If only. 1,300 acre-feet, which is plenty for the needs of the community. Currently, the community is using between 14 and 1,500 acre-feet per year, so having 1,300 acre-feet of storage is a tremendous benefit to the community without overextending. So I, as well as I believe the city manager and possibly the mayor, will be attending the NMFA board meeting tomorrow. So this will be going in front of the NMFA board tomorrow. It is on the agenda for approval for awarding the city of this loan.
Okay, questions, comments? Okay, what is the pleasure of the board? What is the pleasure of the board?
I'd like to make a motion.
Well, we have to accept the record properly.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
We'd like to close the public hearing and record the record.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Olivetti Jr.?
Yes.
Have a motion by Counselor Howell, second by Counselor Casey and Counselor Olivetti Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor, motion
I
carries.
need a motion to reconvene into regular session. Do I have that motion?
Madam Mayor, I move that we reconvene into regular session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Olivetti Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion
During
carries.
regular session, what is the pleasure of the council?
Madam Mayor,
Counselor
Go ahead.
Counselor Howell.
I'd like to make a motion to approve, to adopt ordinance number 18-01.
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivetti Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, councilors.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The next item is the approval to publish ordinance number 18-02, amending chapter 389-4 and 389-15A2, imposition of tax and use of monies. And I will
Defer to the attorney.
yield to the city attorney. You want?
Madam Mayor, I'm proposing an amended, I don't know, did you receive this?
No,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
it's-
they're receiving it right
it's
now.
coming, yes.
What was proposed the last time that we were here in section 389-15 combined the state statute into section A. To make it less confusing, I'm proposing that we divide section A into sections A and B. This mirrors close to the language of New Mexico State Statute 3-38-21. And it's just for clarity, to make it less confusing than what was proposed earlier.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments?
We have a few minutes to read
Yes,
it and
exactly.
digest what the change is. Madam Mayor.
Counselor Casey.
Has the Lodgers Tax Board seen this?
They have not. This is something I just brought in today, and as I said, the sole purpose was just for more clarity and to mirror the state statute.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, it was the same language, it's just dividing it into A, B, and C, but it has the, it has the same language, and it includes the same language, other than point of clarity as councilor, as city attorney has indicated.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. In the future, I would recommend that you provide this language prior to the council, 3 days prior to at least.
Yes, ma'am.
So get your reviews ready. Thank you very much, Mr. Silva. This is very good. I see that the language is pretty consistent with what the expectation is of the advisory,
Yes, Lodgers Tax
Lodgers
Advisory
Tax
Board.
Advisory, so it's pretty consistent. Okay. Counselor Howell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This proposal here does not deflect from the primary objective of what the Lodgers Tax Board had said about using that 1% primarily for infrastructure.
That's correct. In fact, it addresses that more clearly in section B.
Exactly.
Okay, so.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Questions?
Make a motion.
May I have a minute to check my notes from last meeting on the change that I had requested under 389-4 imposition of tax?
Go ahead. Nothing much changed.
Okay. The correction that I had requested and that everyone agreed to is not what is said in the language here. I had requested that the ordinance, that one sentence be reworded so that paid to vendors would come after the word lodging. So it would read, there is hereby imposed an occupancy tax of 5% of gross taxable rent for lodging paid to vendors within the city.
And we can update that as well.
If you would, please, because
you
that
would.
was
Well, we
prior
have
to the.
use this as a work session,
Yeah.
Yes,
pretty much.
absolutely. That doesn't change.
No.
It doesn't
It
change the
doesn't.
meaning, it
Okay.
just makes the sentence make more sense.
And if I may, I think I misunderstood what you said. I wrote it down a little bit differently than what you said.
Yeah, and it,
Okay. Any other questions? Pleasure of the council.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve to publish ordinance 18-02, amending chapter 389-4 and 389-15A2, the imposition of tax and the use of monies, with the amended recommendations from the city attorney.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
and that would include the
That would
Yeah,
correction that I
they're-
did.
that you
Yes,
amended.
they're on the record.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Uribe Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, a second by Counselor Casey and Counselor Uribe Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Moving
Madam Mayor,
on to,
members of the council. The next item on the agenda is
Council's
Counselor
reports.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Counselor Casey.
Thank you, I just have two quick items. At the last meeting, Madam City Manager, I asked some questions about Las Vegas matters, the legislature, and you said that you would put together a breakdown of the expenses and get them to me.
Yes. And I haven't done that yet. I believe that we're still looking at the collections, but as soon, and I will, I did have it on my notes to bring back to you, and I will.
Okay. And the other thing is, I was contacted by Kathleen Hendrickson, who does the Southwest tours, and she had a woman that she had taken around on a tour, and they went to the train station, and Kathleen walked away and went across the street to look at the Ronings building or something, and when she came back, she found that the woman that was taking the tour had fallen because the steps at the train station no longer have the caution tape on it saying, you know, be careful, this is a step. And so she didn't see the remainder of the little pieces of caution tape that are there. She fell and she suffered a concussion. And she did send an email saying that she doesn't want to file a tort claim against the city, but she would like to have some help with the medical bills. And so I brought pictures of everything that happened, pictures of her with her forehead kind of bloody, and
But we can't really discuss this at this
Yeah,
point in time
okay,
because it
yeah.
was service testimony.
Yeah.
And I believe she'd still have to go through the process of a tort
Yeah,
claim.
Absolutely. If you can,
Yeah.
if I can have
so,
those.
yeah, and
documents.
this is a complete email stream so that you
Correct.
can see everything that was written.
Thank you.
That's all, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Counselor Howell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I'd like to ask you, Mayor, and through the city attorney, I remember we had a discussion last council meeting in regards to making motions at councilors report, and I believe the city attorney was going to verify that through the municipal league. Did you get any verification?
I did, if I may. So I did speak with Randy Van Slyck, who's the municipal league attorney, about this specific issue, and apparently this is something that's frequently asked of him. And coincidentally, last month in the municipal league reporter, this issue was addressed as well. One of the main issues is whether the proposed agenda, addition to the agenda, is an executive function or administrative function. It's his legal opinion that your specific request to add something to the agenda, which was an RFP for a position, would be more of an administrative issue. And it's his opinion that it should be allowed to be placed on the agenda. In addition to that, I did look up both New Mexico state statute and local ordinances. We do have from Las Vegas procedures from in 2002, or adopted back in July 17th of 2002, which states under Article 2, Section 2.1D, the agenda along with introductions and related materials shall be available to each member of the governing body at least 5 days in advance of the meeting. And I think that when you asked it, it was my opinion that this would violate the Open Meetings Act. However, there's another portion of our ordinances under Chapter 14, 14-7, Section D. The last sentence of it says additional items may be added to the agenda by unanimous consent of the members of the governing body. That one sentence by itself seems to imply that the body would have to all agree to this before it was added. That's in a bit of a conflict with what Randy Van Sleck said. It was his legal opinion that it should be added, but this one sentence on the ordinance seems to indicate it has to be unanimous consent when something's added, even if it's at the administrative level.
Point of clarification, Madam Mayor. I believe the last statement that you did mention, that reflects the adding an item on the current agenda that's at hand right here. For example, I could not put an additional agenda item on here unless I get a complete consensus of the governing body. Yes. But what my motion was to place an agenda item in the future of for the next council meeting, which went into the parameters of 5 days and also 72 hours of time frame for us to be put on there. And all I would have needed was a second and then a vote to be called. And if I get a majority vote, then it would be placed on the next council meeting's agenda.
According to the legal opinion of the municipal league attorney, he agrees with you on that. I agree with that. But when I spoke with him, I wasn't aware of this additional Section D, and it does talk about the 5 days, but it's that last sentence that can be interpreted different ways, because it doesn't specifically say whether it's the current agenda or the agenda for the following month or the following 2 weeks later. That would meet that 5-day requirement. I don't know that his opinion would change, but when I asked him specifically about what you did, the motion that you raised that day, he believes that didn't violate the Open Meetings Act. And apparently he's asked this quite a bit. Different municipalities, some have ordinances that allow just a very relaxed way to get something onto the agenda, and others require very specific memos prior to a motion so that everybody can read them. We don't have anything like this. Section D is about the closest we can get.
We have we cannot do that unless we have complete agreement from the governing body. And the motion that I made to ask for a special audit meeting was done, and we had a second to it and a majority vote on that.
Okay, let me clarify a few things. First of all, when they requested, the 3 councilors requested a special audit, and when they censured the mayor, They did not request to put that item on the agenda. So the 72-hour notice with regards to the special, the Open Meetings Act was not met. Any item that becomes an action item must be put on the agenda before they vote on it. What the council did is they actually voted on the item before it was put on the agenda for the upcoming meeting. That is wrong. Furthermore, with regards to the issue of advertising the position, the charter is very specific. It very clearly states that the mayor appoints. It doesn't say that the mayor puts out for advertising a position. Now, unless we amend the charter, we cannot, at this point in time, advertise that position, because then we are violating the charter law, which says the mayor appoints. Now, I would refer you at this point in time to review the charter as well for clarification. I have reviewed it often, and I believe I am correct. But if you could look at that and come back to us again with further clarification, because our interdepartmental policy, which the council adopted, clearly states that it must be adopted or approved by the governing body. And that means in its entirety, not just 3 councilors, to put an action item on the agenda. But with that said, I also want to defer a question to the clerk. The clerk knows that we have a process. The process is they must go to the clerk, get the form, fill out the form, and bring it to the mayor, correct?
That is correct, for a special meeting.
Exactly, for a special meeting. But action items must be, also, they can request at this point in time, but they also have to put them on the agenda for an action item. You cannot vote on an item that has not been placed on the agenda prior to.
For a point of clarification again, I believe that when I made a motion of the special audit, was to have an audit, special audit 5 days in the future to be in the parameters of the time frame that we needed. And
But that's not what happened.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Voted on the.
We voted on to move to be placed on the future.
No, but you voted on the item. Was it ever placed in the future?
Yes.
Ms. Andrews?
We didn't, we had the meeting 5 days later, and we voted on having the special audit. We didn't, at the meeting that I made the motion, we didn't vote on having the special audit. We voted on having the agenda item on 5 days.
Okay, what
Right.
about the censuring, Ms. Andrews?
I'm not sure what you're asking on the censure.
Okay, did they put it on the agenda to vote on the agenda? No, exactly. So the opening was that was filed. Okay. Could you please get back to us with that?
I will, and just as a quick follow-up, he had me review section 3-12.
I don't have the charter with me, so yes, if you could review that.
I will.
Appreciate that. And thank you for the information. I know we adopted the resolution of the council, the entire governing body moving forward with that. So thank you very much. Okay, any further questions?
Well, I still have the floor.
Okay, yes.
I had some community members call me and ask, this is for you, to you, Ms. Gallegos, I mean. They were walking around on Hot Springs, no, not Hot Springs, New Mexico and Grand Avenue. And they looked at our caboose area. And our caboose is, they were saying that really needs a good fresh paint on it. It's looking kind of drabby. So I just wanted to bring that up to your attention, if we can really consider taking a look at that.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council.
Councilman Levy.
Yes, I got something. Ms. Gallegos, I just want to thank all the volunteers and employees that did a very good job on Ward 1 on the cleanup. They did miss a little bit some areas. I think 6 months down the line or near down the line, we can walk through it. Have one of the employees talk to me. They did talk to me, and we kind of missed some of the streets, but they did a very good job. I want to thank all of them for doing that. And then some potholes on Romero and National. Right before you get to the hill, there's where the water runs down. There's some real bad potholes there. And then on Lopez and Santa Ana.
Okay. I will get those looked at.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then there's some citizens that have been calling on the water bills that they are being coming in like 2 months late or I told them that they were changing the printing on them or something like that.
There, Madam Mayor, members of the council, Councilor, you agree? There was an issue with the utility bills, but I think that has been cleared up, and we're moving forward. And today, you did approve a company.
Yes.
We're changing companies on our utility billing and the way that they are mailed out. And so that should be updated, and we should be getting the billings on a monthly basis once again. There was an issue with the company that was doing them, and I think it's been corrected. Am I correct?
Correct. Mayor, Councilors, Town Manager, the company did miss, I believe it was 600 bills from a particular cycle 2 months in a row. So we did have 600 customers who did not receive the bill for 2 months. At any time a customer is not receiving the bill, they can come in and we can reprint the bill for them, and they're not being charged any fees for any of that
Any of
delay.
the late fees
So
or
we have had customers come in and let us know we didn't get the bill, and we just went ahead and printed it over once.
But you are working with customers as well.
But we are
Yes.
absolutely working with customers so that they're not impacted, that there's no additional charges, no fees, if anybody did miss their payment.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I also want to thank the staff for the incredible work that you're doing, each and every one of you. I know you've been handling 3 audits at this point in time, and your staff has been absolutely tremendous addressing every single one of them. I believe, I'm very confident that everything's going to work out very well. So thank you very much. I do not believe we have need for executive session, is that correct?
One more thing?
I'm closing it for comment on this.
Okay, I just wanted to make a request of our attorney.
It has to be approved by the consensus of the board.
Okay. I want to make a request regarding, just to give him clarification on the issues about the special audit meeting, when we voted on that, and the censorship also.
You wanted to give who?
Our attorney.
Clarification.
Clarification.
Okay. I'll have Anne Marie do that at this point in time. But I don't believe it's
But
something.
you don't know what I wanted to ask.
Okay, ask him.
I would like him to, it's a request for him to review the minutes of the September regular meeting and of the September 29th special meeting, I don't even know if it was 28th or 29th special meeting, and also the minutes of the December 20th meeting, so that you have a better idea as to the issues that came about to get us to this point in time where we're still having this confusion about what can and can't be motion.
Okay, I believe that directive was already,
2017.
I believe that directive was already given to him, but now if they're requesting a different directive, then it has to be approved by the entire board, because that's consistent with policy, and if it's not approved by the entire board, and there's one no here, then the motion dies until the initial motion. So I would vote against that, or I would not even recommend that at this point in time, because there could be some confusion. I think he knows what he has to do. Okay?
Whatever.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't believe we have a need for executive, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Counselor Uribe Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
We adjourn, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council.